Today we're going to go over soldering. First thing you want to do with soldering is make sure you have plenty of water in the sponge. So just keep adding water to it until it's thoroughly soaked. And this is just ordinary tap water, nothing fancy. That's good. Once you have water in the sponge, you grab your soldering wand and you grab your tip. Make sure you have the right size tip for your soldering wand. And the barrel nut goes over, holds it in place. You want to make sure it's tight, nice and tight. Whenever you're not using the soldering wand, you want to make sure it's in the holder. Go ahead and turn it on so it can warm up. And it takes a little bit to heat up to ready for you to solder. Right. Whenever you're ready to solder, always clean off the tip to clean so that you have a nice fresh tip when you're cleaning or when you're soldering. It's also a good idea to use it if you ever have a buildup of solder on the tip. You can just brush it through the sponge to clean it off. Okay, so what we're going to solder is we're going to solder male headers, which are these guys, onto the teensy. And the way this is done is you actually put the male headers into the bottom on this one, and you're going to solder on the top. Row right here. The way you need to know how many is you're going to use all the plugs, so right there. So you're going to break the male headers off at this point. So you know those pliers work really good for this. Just snap it right off. And you're in place. Alright, so we had to switch to a different camera so you can see what I'm doing. Whenever you're soldering, the first thing you want to do is you want to put some solder on the tip of the soldering iron. It's called tinning the tip. And you just set it up on what you want to solder. It doesn't take very much, just a little bit. You just kind of set it on and just kind of drag it off. The important thing is you got a solid connection on what you're soldering and the surface that it's on. Whenever you're ready to leave the station, you always want to clean off any excess solder you have on the tip and put a fresh bead on, and that'll help protect the tip. That's called tinning the tip. And you always want to turn it off whenever you leave the station.